All right, moving right along. As long as we're talking about new content, let's go talk about the Delta Quadrant, right? Our brand new sector, which, if you haven't been there yet, is all the way up here. However, fortunately, even though it is way past G5 space, it does not have anywhere near the warp time to get there. Just to give you an example, go into G5 space from my base currently in territory to the first entry level system right here. Takes 11 and a half minutes with my Valdor there. Going up here, which should hypothetically be further, is only about a minute and a half flight. So thankfully that. You do have your one little waypoint system J25 here. And these are kind of bouncing off of the Nethea system out here by Deep Space Nine and Bajor, which is kind of where I would have preferred if this kind of went from Bajor and went this way, because I feel like that's where Voyager started. They went to Deep Space Nine to then go investigate the Badlands or something like that, looking for the Maquis, and then somehow got, thrown across the universe. But maybe they went to the Nethea system, and I'm just not remembering that, and that's why it launched from here. And there are two different sections of the Delta Quadrant. You have your entry level section right here, which is where you have hostiles as well as all of your various new Armada targets, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And all of these systems are open viewing. You can click them at any time, see what's going on, see who's killing what. Look at this right here. We've got these two alliances starting this Armada, and somebody else grabbing this one up here as well. You'll notice that all the Armada timers are synced. That's important. That happens automatically, so that way they all finish up at the same time. So you can look into any of those systems in here in this particular part of space. I haven't been out here yet since I finished that mission. Now you do have some warp range stuff. This is warp 250 to get to the level 60 systems. You also have a couple of new mining systems right here. These have the standard mining rate, nothing special about them. They do have all three different types of resources available though, and this could be a bit closer for you than going to some of the other areas. You will still mine faster in territory, because again, these are the standard mining rates. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to go somewhere. Same thing with the 4-star nodes. You've got additional, it's all of the same types of nodes are all right here. And this is going to probably be the system where when you clean a node out, it's probably going to flip over to a different type. So keep that in mind as well. And then you've got this one here, which if you have warp range 205, you can get into the 5-star mining system. And you can also get some 5-star resources. Again, this is much faster than going out, because if you look at where, when I have to take my Nova out places to do mining, and these 220, 230 warp systems, it's like a 17-minute flight time to get there, or to move between them. If I'm done mining ore and I'm like, let's go get some crystal, and I want to take my Nova and fly over here, it's like 17 minutes. So adding these new systems in, which would only take like a minute and a half. Now, these systems aren't protected or anything like that. They're just standard, regular systems. You do have to watch OPC. It's also going to probably be an issue here as well. So superhighways don't unlock until 53, Dean. Got to get to 53 first. Now, in addition to that, you also have these higher level systems up here, which is where everything is shaded. None of these systems are viewable. Not 100% sure yet why the big difference, because Both systems seem to have similar strength level hostiles in terms of, what they can do and whatnot, hypothetically speaking. Now, I will say the other ones do seem to have a little bit more, variety to them a little bit. Like, let's go find out right here. Let's go here. Since I have to do this event anyway, right? Can I kill one of these things? I guess we're going to go find out. I got the right crew on. Let's go see if we can kill these things. Because when I was looking earlier, up in these systems, way up here, we saw a couple different things. Let's pull up this one from some screenshots from earlier. Oh, this was the fun one first. Let's see, we zoom in on that. Just a placeholder. Imagine, please, a bunch of stuff is happening here. A little graphic image that I don't know where they grabbed this from or borrowed this graphic from. But they did not remove this little text before actually pushing everything out live. And some of you may have noticed that. Oopsie. But when we look at some of the hostiles up here, you have the big Hirogen Hunters, the 57. These guys are 315 million strength, but the regular Gorns and things like that. So similar to the Dominion, it seems like the Explorers, at least in the high-level systems, maybe it's just because they're the Hirogen Hunters and they're harder, but it definitely seems like the Explorers seem to be a lot bigger, so keep that in mind as well. It's not a graphic, that's a placeholder. You're right, you're right. Heather Jones, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. These are just hostiles. Now, there's a little bit, like I said, a little more variety in levels. This one's 53 to 50, 52 to 54. This is 57 to 59. We're down here. You've got 53s as well here and 55s. But then it goes right to the 60s. There isn't anything in between. This is going 54 to 56 and then jump into 60. If you want something in between, you have to go up here to this system, TAC, which you can't see into to know who else might be there killing hostiles and stuff. It's a little weird. Not quite sure why the difference between the two types of systems. They had notes about the Armada battle logs being, yeah. Pardon me. Yeah, I mean, Voyager is a little bit of a surprise here this early in the year. It does feel like, and maybe that's the thing, maybe they did move it up sooner than they expected to. There were certainly already some issues, some technical issues that we were seeing upon event launch. But as far as hitting these hostiles, it should just be simple, straightforward, Strange New Worlds crew, because these things are bigger than 50, depending on what level you're hitting. If you're hitting in the 40s, Pike Moreau Chen should work fine for you, I would think. Let's go hit one of these guys and we'll just take a look at their weapon types and see if it actually, let's see if they're even in STFC.space. I'm going to go with no, but I could be wrong. Lost Sona. Lost Sona Pirates. Level 54. That's what I just hit right there. Okay. Did I kill it? Did I die? I died. Look at that. Oh, wow. Okay. So these things are shooting both energy and kinetic weapons. So Pike Moreau Chen not going to be as effective because of the two different weapon types. So Strange New Worlds crew is probably going to be what you're going to want to use. You might just have to keep it a little more in sync. with your ops level. If obviously if you're punching up, Tal's going to be a key there. But that's a lot of shots for some of these guys. That is a lot of shots. Let's go look at our battle log here. See just exactly how we did. Yeah, we got it about halfway dead. So we got a big increased boost, but these things also do put out a lot of damage. And even though my mitigation is pretty high, and I've got Hugh giving me more criticals and stuff, yeah, they're still putting out quite a bit of damage up front. And then these torpedoes hit even harder. Ouch. Okay, so these things definitely pack some punch. How many rounds did this particular fight go? That's another question I wanted to see. 9 rounds. Because of how much damage they're doing, I got killed in 9 rounds. That certainly could also be a fight where Tal might not be effective, because we know, base level Tal does take, 16 to 20 rounds usually to finish fights. Now you're doing more damage and stuff. These things don't have quite the hull health that like the freebooters and stuff do. So let's find out. Let's give him a try. As long as we're playing around. Strange New World can't hit things that deplete your shield. Well, that could be a thing, because obviously if your shields are getting depleted pretty quickly, Pike's ability is going to stop working pretty quick. His captain's ability. So let's just say if we did remove Giorgio. And let's grab Tal wherever he is. And let's go back out here and try our luck again. Uh-oh. Looks like Luby is all done with his stream for the night. Raiding on in with 87 people. Awesome job, sir. Thank you very much for that. Hope you had a good stream. For those of you not already following It's Lube. Lube, along with Stewie Doo, are the two guys who run the STFC Officer Tool. Lube has started streaming, been about 2 months now, I think. 2 or 3 months that he's been doing live streams now that he finally stopped using his Windows 98 computer. It's running a little bit smoother. So be sure to, if you're not already following him, there's the link right there in the chat. Go ahead and get that going. Give him a follow while you're there. And welcome on in to all the Raiders and first-time viewers who have not seen me yet. Cap Jess, Savage Darkness, thank you very much for the follows. I appreciate that. TC, thank you very much for renewing your subscription for 5 months now. I think they launched G6 summer now. Maybe the whales let it be known they didn't want to wait till September. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that. I mean, maybe you got to get through a little bit of this Voyager arc first, right? Now, whether Voyager's going to be... There's too much content to do in 3 months. I can't see them doing it as a 3-month arc. So we're May, June, July. 4th month being August. Maybe they release it then to kind of tie in with the end of it. Or maybe they wait until Voyager's over. If Voyager's only 4 months, Voyager could be 5 months. Who knows? Who knows what they've got planned? It seems like it would be a 4-month arc like Deep Space Nine was, but you never know. So, And then we roll out some G6 content. Maybe now August instead of September. I don't think we need to rush that, though. That's for sure. G6 2029? No, no, no. They need the money. They wants the money. Cap Jester still trying to get through tier G3. No rush. Take your time and enjoy the process. It just gets more expensive the further and further you get. So, all right. So, we are going to try to see if we can punch up with Giorgio and Tal here and see how this goes. Yeah, I think we're dead again. Yep, we are dead again. So that didn't work either, because these things shoot too much. They just cause too much damage. Yeah, fight only goes 7 rounds. That's not enough time for Tier 1 Tal to really get much done. Now, if you had Tier 2 Tal or Tier 3 Tal because you finished really high in the stupid Syndicate XP event that we had a couple days ago, that might be an option. Or you might just have to punch things a little closer to what you're used to hitting. Now, these particular guys, you know what? Here's a possibility. Maybe just the battleships are just that much tougher than the other ones. Let's go take a look at the other guys. Maybe I'm just hitting the wrong type of hostile. Maybe I'm hitting the hardest ones, which is just dumb, right? Lost Orion Slavers. Let's go take a look at these guys. See if they still have the same weapons and firing type. Because sometimes they're just different. Lost Orion Slavers. Let's take a look at these guys. Slightly different. 3 energy weapons, 1 kinetic weapon. So these guys, the Explorers, actually probably are harder because you're getting shot more consistently. It's 12-9, 12-9 instead of 12-6, 12-6 with the battleships. Although the battleship weapons do shoot twice as hard. What about the interceptors? Lost Nausicaan Outlaw, huh? Lost Nausicaan Outlaw. So if we're looking at the high level ones. 1 energy weapon, 3 kinetic weapons. So the kinetic weapons are going to hurt more. They're going to do more damage, right? Energy weapon, look at the min and max damage here versus the min and max damage here. Significantly higher on those, but they're firing less frequently. So you do get kind of this little reprieve rounds. They're going to light you up on all the odd number rounds with all of these torpedoes. Okay. So yeah, it definitely seems like these are going to be hard to punch up against. And you're really going to have to just sort of stick in your wheelhouse. Cap Jess, your Ops 38 from Vancouver on a Canadian server. Oh, you're from Vancouver, Canada on server 17. I'm like, do we have Canadian servers? That'd be interesting. Ever it'd be so friendly, there wouldn't be any war. You don't need ROE because nobody wants to attack anybody anyway. I'm kidding. Yep. Yep, definitely not going to work for Tal. These guys just shoot and do way too much damage. Yeah. Now, obviously, when you're fighting, you know, the smaller ones in the 40s. So if we go look at one, where's the 48s? Is there no 48 system? Okay, so we can go 45s. Well, actually, we could just go here. Go to the 50 system. There should be 49s. So things that are in this system, like these 49s, should have no trouble hitting these, and Pike Moreau Chen or Pike Moreau Talon would still work there depending on what you're firing against. But remember, these things do have both weapon types. So when you're fighting things with dual weapon types, some of their shots aren't going to be reduced and are going to come through at full blast. So just sort of keep that in mind with what you're looking at there. But if we're just doing regular stuff, she's boosting my critical hit damage as captain. I'd still want Pike because I would still want him lowering their shield mitigation, so more of my damage is going to get through faster. I wonder, because how much these things shoot, if we want Beverly up here giving me more crit damage. I don't know the fight's going. They're shooting a lot. They're definitely shooting a lot, but they're also shooting, it's per weapon. So if they're shooting 4 times, if it's 4-2, 4-2, yeah, I don't know that she's going to add enough to my critical hit damage over the course of, 8 or 9 rounds. How was my mitigation against them? Let me go back and look at that battle log again. So maybe that might be a thing. So let's just see. So this first shot right here goes for about 3 million. 1394, 305. They mitigate a good chunk of that. They mitigated 46% of my damage, 47% of my damage right off the bat. So maybe if I'm going against a battleship there, maybe I want more armor piercing. So I want Charvanek or Kang or Marcus, depending on what you're going against. I'm pretty sure she's on an away. She's always on an away team mission. So Pike Moreau Tal. No, I'm not trying Pike Moreau Tal. So we're going to do that. She's not on a away team mission. All right, so let's do that. And then below deck ability, we could put Hemmer there instead. Because she also triggers off of attack. So actually, let me find somebody with better attack value. Let's put Kang there and get me a better attack value. Just to make sure I really am maxing my mitigation as much as possible. Also notice that, like many things in this game, so it tells you right up front here that these just have interceptors and armada types, but when you actually click in the system, you can see it has all 3 types of hostiles. It's just broken or wrong, depending on how you want to look at it. So Pike boosts Tal's ability. Yes, he does, but you need burning to trigger it, as Stewie pointed out as well. So if you're doing Pike Moreau Tal, you're not actually triggering burning to start it off, so it doesn't work. And since we don't have a below deck officer yet that allows you to trigger burning, maybe that'll be what Harry Kim does when we get him in a month or 2. Well, clearly they set the stage, right? If they went ahead and gave B'Elanna the ability to trigger hull breach from a lower deck spot, they're going to have spots for the other 2 to also work that. when we saw Picard and Picard got his big boost against, when fighting against explorers, you do like 500% more damage. It's like, well, clearly they're going to make officers for the other ship types too. It's just not going to be the same month. So we're going to see how this goes here and try and get our, if it is even possible, to punch up a little bit against some of these guys. Now, obviously, these ones are already damaged a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Neelix for morale, maybe Kim for burning. That makes sense. This arc is a perfect time for our server war to be happening. Yeah, trying to, either coordinate these armadas or have, different alliances, jumping into them. When you're in the middle of a server war, yeah, or even just a war in general with other alliances, the directives are not easy to come by yet. They take a little while to source. And you're going to be fighting over spots. Oof. Not a good time to be at war, so. No worries, Captain Jesse. Welcome to the channel, though. This is what we talk about here. We test out crews and we try crazy things and see what works. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes we just sort of crowdsource ideas together, so. Alright, let's go finish this one up, because I feel very confident we should kill this one this time around. But I'm really more curious to see how much Charvanek, how much of a difference she makes. Because, like I said, this hostile was mitigating nearly 40% of my damage last time. Hey, Apocalyptic, welcome on in. Alright, so we got the kill this time around. But obviously it was damaged. So that's not gonna... It was expected, shall we say. So that fight only went 4 rounds, which is great. But what I'm really more curious about... Yeah, that number looks much better. So 239,353 out of 953,966. Instead of 47%, it only mitigated 25% of my damage. So Trinity officers definitely getting some value here again in terms of speeding fights up a little bit. I still took a lot of damage. Let's go back and try this other one. That was definitely bigger than me that we were trying to punch up against. This is one we tried with Tal earlier and just got wiped across the floor. Alright, well that didn't go much better. But we definitely got it down. You'll also notice because of Pike, it's also less damage is getting absorbed by the shields too. So, of my 935, 992 that I started with, it mitigated that much. It left 658 right here. Now, 80% of this should have gone to the shields, and the other 20% should have gone to hull damage. But because of Pike's ability, reducing that by, because my Pike is tiered up a little bit, reduced it by 25%. So only 55% times 0.55 got absorbed by the shields. And the remaining 45% of the damage went through to the hull. So that's why Pike's definitely making a big difference there. Charvanek's making a big difference in terms of the basic mitigation here. This is weird, though. I fire 2 shots, huge triggers, boost my critical hit chance by 25%. Fire my next 2 shots, so now I'm at like 45% crit, or 47% crit chance. Now he does it again, so now I'm like 70% crit chance. and no criticals again. Now I'm up to like 100% crit chance. So every shot from here on out should be a critical. But that first round was terrible. We put a lot of damage on it in future rounds. But yeah, punching up is just going to be problematic. So let's scale this back a little bit. And we'll try ones that are a little bit closer to my actual ops level and see if it doesn't cause any more problems. But just in terms of actually punching up, I was curious to see what you could do. Where was that? Was that this event? Cat and mouse? Yeah. So, Denver says you killed 51s for that event. Fast and easy for your Ops 47. 51s for me would give me 121,000 points. I need 11 million points, so that would be about 100 kills. So obviously I was trying to scale up and try and hit bigger things because, 53s, 54s are given, 54s are given 500,000. I would just have to kill 22 54s and I'd be done with the event. But killing 22 54s seems to be a little problematic for me. So we are going to have to scale down and just grind hostiles, I guess. Fortunately, it pays out lots of titanium, so it'll cover all my repair bills as we experimented with this little setup here. Yeah. And then when you factor in the completely separate gathering intel, which for those of you rating over from Lube's channel, if any of you are above level 52, would you kindly share with me what your point totals are and what ops level you are? Because at ops 52, these hostiles stop scaling at 50 and 51. I would have to kill about 75 level 51 hostiles. But you can't even find just level 51s because there's 49s and 50s in the same systems. So you kind of have to just keep killing stuff over and over again. And I'm probably going to have to kill over 100 of these things to finish this event as well. So it's a lot of grinding between the two events because, not 100% scaling right there. So Frankie Bones, thank you very much for the subscription. Jerry D, thank you for the follow. Jay Tingris, thank you for the follow as well. Lube, if I didn't say so earlier, thank you for the 100 bits. Joe RG, also thank you for the follow. Looks like we hit our follower goal just now. This is our May goal, was to get to 550 by the end of May, and it looks like we did just hit that. So thank you all very much for that. Yeah, obviously, if you're in a lower level, if you're in the 30s or 40s, these point totals are going to be a lot more manageable, especially for the Cardassian hostile one. But trying to, especially with that one, because of the way that the hostiles just don't scale. All right, let's go hit a 53. These are a little bit smaller. And let's see how this goes. By the way, the graphics in these systems are pretty awesome. So wherever they got these graphics from, good job. These graphics are awesome. So that went pretty smooth. So we can kill 53s. Didn't really take a whole lot of damage there. 5-round fight. We are getting shot a decent amount, but we're also mitigating pretty solidly here. .2%. So we are max mitigation, taking a lot of damage off. The rest of it's going into the shields. Now, if I'm fighting these particular hostiles, it's possible I could switch and put Pike back as captain and let more of the damage go to the shields. If I'm fighting 50, 51, 52s at my level, I could probably get away with that better, and that would probably work better for most people. Trying to punch up a little bit I flip-flopped them just so I wouldn't run out of shields as fast. I don't want to hit the 54s again. But the graphics in these systems are pretty spectacular. And if we go down here and just clean up on 50s and 51s, it's just going to take forever. So level 46 Alliance Mate only needs 3 million points in the Cardassian Armada. Yeah, the lower levels for the Cardassian events are going to be a lot more manageable, and especially because at that level 2, you have the ability to punch up a little bit more. You know, with the Cardassians, they don't. That's as high as they go is 50 or 51s, and again, you can't even find them all in those systems. So it's just going to take a bit longer. Now, the good news is that flying between the systems is a lot shorter. So if you do decide, hey, I don't like this crew, let me fly back and switch it, it's only like a 2-minute flight for most people. So that's pretty cool too. Stewie hopes that one day they'll allow us to change our bridge crew out in space. That would be awesome because, you know, we see them do it all the time in the show, right? The captain's like, I'm going to go in my ready room. You're in charge now. Like, great. Let's flip-flop that. Did a good job on graphics, but can they lower the brightness on some of these? Need shades to view some of them. The couple of the systems, like the ones that are like this one is Eviloy. That's kind of a white cloud background one. This one can be a little blinding sometimes. Trying to look at one of those. We're not going to stay on that too long because I want you guys to actually stick around and keep watching the channel. They go home to take the, yeah. Come on, guys, we got to go all the way back to Starbase, so you know Riker can take over, so the captain can take a nap. Lube, thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you again for raiding on in after you finished up your stream. Hope you had a good time. Hope you're enjoying the new content. We'll talk again soon, sir. They do repairs in space as well. That they do. They keep spare parts and stuff on board, and they make little patches. And I can see if they don't want to give you that, fine. But at least let you flip-flop your officers. Not like change them out with people who aren't even on your ship. But I'm sure they're going to say there's something that it would screw up something with the ship abilities and stats because that's not how it's designed to trigger, and we can't fix it because of this and whatever. Too long, stopped caring. So that's the Delta Quadrant. Those are the different new hostiles in the Delta Quadrant.